And welcome to the twisted and broken remains of civilization, or as I like to call it, from the Rubble. My Minecraft post-apocalyptic world where I try to, initially survive. I actually kind of got that part down. Now I'm working on the thriving part. And from there, I want to take my personal success and extend that to any other survivors I may find. So far, that's been zero. But, I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure we'll find them, and we'll bring them here. But right now, I'm still a little challenged to support me. So that's what I'm working on. Now, for this episode, let's talk a little bit about past episodes. You can see here I've changed the bunker around a little bit. I've moved this central shaft to 0, of the game world. So that's the center world right there, and that will be the physical and spiritual center of our operations. But aside from that, I have been working on expanding that island and building up my agricultural production and just trying to get situated. Now, my goals for this episode are to continue that, of course. I would like to have the central island approximately 6 chunks in size, because that would be enough space for me to do pretty much everything I need to do for now. But even more immediate than that is the fact that I'm still running around in a modded Minecraft world without a backpack. And that hurts. I mean, even if this was a vanilla world, backpacks make life so much easier, and it's a modded Minecraft world with over 300 mods. So, there's a lot of stuff you can find in this world, and you need to carry it around, and the regular inventory is not gonna cut it. Okay. Anyway, so the reason I'm in here, cow tipping, is because I need the backpack, and I need 4 leather, and now I think this one will bring me up to 2, which is not great, but it's a start in the right direction. If you are new to this series, I have 3 Minecraft Let's Play series, and of the 3, this is the one that is more geared toward being difficult. Quite frankly, as you can see, the landscape is a twisted and broken city, right? The scenario is that there was a disaster that upended civilization and shattered the world, even screwed up the laws of physics, which explains all the typical Minecraft behavior of blocks not falling and such. But along those lines, this world differs, besides the fact that we have mods, in the fact that I've added a lot of mobs, or both good and bad. So there's a number of civilized mods that are generally friendly. There's a lot more creatures in general, some of them outright alien looking, and that's part of the mutations from sundering the world. Along the same lines, there are some mods that kind of make the hostile mobs not just more hostile, but more dangerous. And so this is not your typical cozy Let's Play. I mean, there will be cozy aspects, and believe me, there's nothing cozier than being safe and secure in your underground bunker, drinking a nice cup of tea, while hundreds of zombies are rampaging on the surface above you. But, you know, that's not what this is all about, right? This is not Care Bears and Hello Kitty. Oh boy. I was gonna make a Kodak moment here and show you the awesome view from here, and then the rain started. So next time, I guess. Anyway, so the challenge right now is, as you saw, I spawned in a lake, and it kind of reminds me of the scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where the guy, the Lord, is talking about Swamp Castle. Right? He's like, we need all the land we can get. We live in a bloody swamp. Well, I need all the land I can get. I live in the middle of a bloody lake. But, you know, that's what I'm doing here, is I'm grabbing material to fill the lake somewhat. Now, to be clear, right, I don't have to fill the lake, right? I mean, this is Minecraft. I can just throw dirt blocks on the top layer and call it good. But if you've been watching my series at all, if you know me at all, you know that A, I don't do things that way, and B, my ultimate plan for that lake is to actually build underneath this area that I'm filling in, right? I will fill it in now, but then later I will hollow it out and replace it with actual base structures. And it is a whole lot easier to basically excavate gravel, dirt, and cobblestone and then build than to try to, you know, build with water rushing in. So that's what we're after here. What I'm hoping is once I can get the island complete on the surface, that will get me enough space that I'll have the necessary farming. I'll have some wood production, you know, growing trees. Oh boy. And I'll have a windmill up, right? And with the windmill, I'll be able to get my first steps toward automation. So I'm really looking forward to that. Until I get to that point, there are some... Yeah, I get it. I hear you. There are some devices that are available through the thermal series that will give me some machines and devices that don't require power and can kind of help me toward my ultimate goal. Now, there's two devices in my head. One is, I think, called the Aquatic Entangler, and basically it catches fish, you know, without you being there. So, yes, please. There's another one, which I don't remember what they call it, but basically it's a cobblestone generator, right? So, or actually, I think it's a stone generator, which is even better, but maybe it's cobblestone. Either way, that I need that. And with the windmill, I would be able to create a millstone and eventually grinding wheels, and then I can make all the gravel and sand I would want from all that cobblestone. And at that point, I'm primed for success, right? If I can get to that point and the surface island is built up and fortified, you know, walled off, then the next step will be to move underground. And if you're familiar with me, you know that I have an Excel spreadsheet, which isn't really a spreadsheet at all, but rather uses a piece of virtual graph paper to plot out the base design and layout that I'll then start working on. And at that point, you know, I'll have all the basic pieces in place to thrive, and I will continue to, you know, add new functionality and capability. But then that's when we start going walkabout in this world, looking for other survivors, looking for new resources, looking for, you know, what we can find. And that's also when we're going to start tapping into all these buildings and such, because I made up my mind early on in this series that you know, I had a few options. I could just come in here and survive and not really do much with the world, but you know, just kind of explore and goof around, which, I mean, that's a valid option, but it's not me. Again, if you know me, you know, it's all about the building. So I feel compelled to build. And what does that mean in this world? Well, it means in some cases rebuilding what was, and in some cases it means tearing down what was and either replacing it with something new or something better, or maybe even replacing it with, you know, some restored nature, right? I mean, this world's pretty messed up, so there's a lot of stuff we can do that will be beneficial for everyone, including Mother Earth. So that's what we'll do. But let me put a disclaimer on there. I need some decent armor before that happens. Right now, I am running around in my vault suit. And yes, some eagle-eyed folks have noticed that suit bears a striking resemblance to the vault uniform of Fallout. And yeah, it does. I changed the colors to prevent any confusion or legal entanglements, but yes, that's pretty much what it is meant to look like. Because that's pretty much what's going on here. So. Yeah, if you look down in that water, it is deep over here. And that, yeah, I hear you. That's why I'm really eager to get gravel production going, because letting the gravel sink and do the work for me, that's going to make my life a lot easier. But you can see we have a lot of space up here. And, and so that space is, at the moment, not doing a whole lot for us. So we can make it productive. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Water. And then make sure we get this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Water. And since it's a square, yeah, okay. Since it's a square, I just gotta line these two up. Water. Water. So now we're all set to prepare this next set of fields. You know, I've been finding a lot of seeds and stuff, and you know, so the primary agricultural produce in my worlds, my Let's Play worlds, normally comes from the Farmer's Delight and its add-ons, and the Let's Play or the Let's Do series of cooking and crafting mods. Now, and of course vanilla. But in this one, you know, my primary technology mod is the thermal series, and it turns out that through thermal cultivation, there are a number of crops introduced into this world that I haven't dealt with before. Now, some of them are repeats or duplicates of Farmer's Delight and Let's Do, but some of them are completely new to me. And quite honestly, even when they are a repeat, you know, though I have noticed that the thermal folks have added a bunch of crops, they didn't really add a lot of recipes. So one of the things I'll be working on, in addition to all the other stuff I've got going in the fire, will be the creation and modification of tags, additions of recipes, blah, 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 to make those crops mesh better with the current mix, and where necessary to expand upon them to make them more useful. Because while I did mention a few minutes ago this is not a cozy series, and I have said before that I'm not one of those cozy Minecraft players, there is an element, sometimes stronger, sometimes weaker, but there is definitely a cozy element in my game worlds. because I'm a little introverted, a little bit of a homebody. I love to travel, I love to go outdoors, but I'm also pretty happy to just curl up and watch the world go by while I'm safe and sound inside my space, usually playing a computer game, but whatever. So I dig that, and that those types of things happen a lot in my worlds, even this one. Like I said, there'll be times that I just need to kick off the armor and relax with a nice cuppa while the undead horde is searching for me on the surface. But like I said, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. There's all sorts of stuff to do. This is my chest for... No, not that. My chest for stuff I will farm eventually. It's my crafting chest. And... what do I got here? I have peanut seeds, grapes, tomatoes, rice, white grapes, green beans, corn, and interesting. The thing with the thermal series is, while with Farmer's Delight and Let's Do, you find the seeds from the actual wild versions of the plants in the overworld, and then you harvest those and get the seeds, or you find them in chests. The thermal mod does it kind of old school, because what they have is when you're out there in the world bashing dirt and grass, you occasionally get grass seeds, but now you also occasionally get these thermal cultivation seeds, and that's where these seeds have come from. Now, I'm trying to figure out which of the thermal seeds to plant, because I'm just trying to figure out the value, right? It's I hate, not real happy at work, but I hate to use the terms from work, bring work into my fun stuff, but what I'm going for here is return on investment, right? I want to plant a crop now that will get me big dividends in terms of the variety of things I can grow with it and the power of the things that I can grow with it. So that's what I'm trying to look at here. And the rice looks to be okay, right? It's not nearly as capable or useful as the rice from Farmer's Delight, but the sada root, I can make a spice cake, or I can make cheese. And that's it. Okay, that is sad. Let's check out the corn. So that's the Let's Do corn. So I guess the thermal corn is probably on another page then. Let's see. Yep. Thermal corn will get me what? I can make a salad. Period. Okay. So you can see this is where I will want to bring in tags, right? I will want to make sure that all corn is equally useful in all corn-related recipes, regardless of mod. So that would make any type of corn I get my hands on worthwhile. But for now, I think I'm going to go with the rice and the thermal version of flax, as well as some basic red and white grapes from Let's Do Vinery. Now, the grapes are primarily for wine, but they grow really, really fast, and you can eat them outright, so it's not bad as at this point in the game. It's just a basic food. And again, I will be adding tags and stuff, and I will be using grapes for a lot of stuff, like juice and jelly and whatever, right? Pastries, blah, blah, blah. I don't think I can... Nope. I have to plant these on dirt. So, that's what I'm doing. 2 for the red grapes. And I need 3 for the white grapes. And if I block off that water, that'll help reclaim the ground for me. Okay, so that's our expanded agriculture. Now we got some wheat growing here. If you're new to my Let's Play series and my style, early on, and at this point that pretty much includes all my Let's Play series, I like to concentrate on the flax and the wheat because using Farmer's Delight, that will yield a material called straw. That's what these little brown bunches of sticks are. And straw will open up a number of different products and industries for me, including the creation of organic compost, which I can change into rich dirt and rich farmland, which essentially gives me self-fertilizing crops. And at that point, we can rapidly grow resources. And that's good because at the moment, besides the fact that I want the straw to grow more rich soil, I also want to grow my wheat really fast, specifically, so that I can use it to keep expanding my, or cultivating my herd of cows, because I still need 2 more leather. So that's what that is. And at the moment, my primary food source is potatoes. And just like in vanilla, the novelty of baked potatoes wears off pretty fast, but it gets the job done, and it's super easy and super quick to produce a bunch of them. So much so that I will overproduce and then compost the overrun because we need a lot of compost. And why do we need compost, you ask? Because if I'm making these rich dirt and rich farmland that self-fertilizes, what do you need the compost for? Well, you use the compost to make the bone meal, right? I mean, that's what we use a composter for. And the bone meal is going to be important because it's also an ingredient in that rich soil. And the primary building ingredient in this base, maybe much of this world, will be light gray concrete. And concrete, you just need, sand and gravel and a color. And the color I want is light gray. Well, the only way I'm going to get light gray dye is either through certain flowers, which I haven't found yet, or through white dye and black dye, which I can make with charcoal. So to make that white dye, I'm going to need a bunch of bone meal. So that's that whole story. And here I'm taking the bark off the logs because you could still use the logs exactly like you would otherwise, but the bark is also used for making the rich dye, or the rich soil. And it's mighty useful stuff for throwing into the composter to help kickstart that as well. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting ready to make some rich compost. So this is my leftover bark, and I'm going to take some dirt and this is materials, and I should get 11 organic compost out of this. So I can take this. Still not used to the fact that I moved the ladder, but hold on. And yeah, I think pumpkin's the next best choice. And I need pumpkin seeds. So that should fill out all 8 of my fields. I mean, I have 2 large fields, each of which are divided in 4 parts. So that's all 8 of my crops. It looks kind of dark out there, so I'm going to see if I can sleep. I can't sleep. So I guess it's not dark enough out there. I mean, I got a bed with me if I have to, but it looks to me like it's sundown. Huh. Well, kinda. It's kind of like being a little kid in Christmas Eve. You dive into bed at 4:30 in the afternoon so that you can go to sleep, and then it's Christmas. I'm gonna plant my pumpkins here. Pumpkins basically will, when they grow, the pumpkin itself is gonna be placed on an adjacent block to the seed. So if I plant them in a double row like that, the pumpkins, except for the ones on the end, have only one place to go, and that kind of maximizes my output. Now, these field sizes are a little weird sized compared to what I've done in the past, so that will complicate things. 2 seeds, 4 seeds. And there you go. Okay, that's about as much as we can do with the crops at the moment. So now we'll prepare for accelerated growth. What I'm going to do, you need to place this organic compost outside in the sun and elements so that it can, break down and compost. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to, normally I'd plop it down someplace, and then once it's dirt-rich soil, I would use it to replace dirt in a field, but I'm going to plop it in the field now. And as it ripens, I will go ahead and start planting that's 16. I'll start planting wheat on that as it's available. Ouch. Now what I'm doing is I want to expand the island, and what I'd like to do is outline the edge of what I said I want my minimum island size to be, which is those 6 chunks. 2 chunks wide by 3, possibly 4 chunks long. It is getting dark though. Okay, now is it dark enough? No. Okay. Well, I mean, I've set my spawn point 14 times, 15 times. So, I'm going to try something different here. I'm going to take 3 wool, make a sleeping bag, There you go. So the spawn point's already set, and using the sleeping bag is not going to change that. But it will let me sleep up on the surface or wherever I happen to be at the time. So I don't have to run all the way back down here. Okay, let's see what else we got. Still can't sleep. So now that sound you hear underwater, yeah, it's spooking the bejesus out of me too, but not as bad as it used to, because I think that's just part of the ambient sounds mod, right? So it sounds as cool and or spooky as it is, but there's nothing down here, right? I mean, nothing that you haven't seen or heard before. You know, it sounds like I got humpbacks down there or something, but nope. It's just ambient noise there to freak you out, and on that point, it's very effective. So, you know, hats off to the guys who made that mod. You guys know your stuff. Okay, it's daylight or morning, so I'm gonna move over to this little island here, park my boat for a fast getaway, and as I mentioned in an earlier episode, this first of all, we're in a crag biome, so it's just, you know, the ground is made up of all sorts of random stuff, which is normally, I think, kind of, well, sucky. But in my current circumstances, that's perfectly acceptable. All this stuff's useful to me, so yes. What isn't useful sometimes is gravity. So, you know, whole mountaintops can float in midair. Just saw some right there, and yet I can't. So, ouch. Ouchie mama. So we are resource gathering. This is this island doesn't really serve a purpose except as a source of raw materials. Conveniently located. So that's what I'm doing with it. I think it was, what, 2 episodes ago? That this was the island I was on when I first heard that strange music. And if you remember, I followed that music down to an abandoned subway tunnel where there was a skeleton wearing a sophisticated backpack. It's a backpack from the Sophisticated Backpack mod. And in this case, the music was coming from a jukebox upgrade that was in that backpack, playing a disc. I was in even worse shape than I am now. I mean, I was still completely unarmored, but I only had a handful of raw potatoes, and trying to defeat a musical amped up skeleton with no armor and raw potatoes, well, it was a losing proposition. I didn't die. I eventually faced facts, got over my denial, and ran back and started cooking my potatoes at least. Came back and, you know, skeleton was gone. So I guess it was a limited engagement. So, and then later in that same episode, just for the sake of completing the full story, I heard the music again, slightly different music. Again, another mob of some type with a backpack. This time I was a little away to my right, and I never did find the tunnel or the room or wherever that guy was stashed in. I created quite a rat's nest of tunnels in the side of a hill, trying to find it by listening, and nope. And when I go over there now, I still don't hear anything, so that opportunity has come and gone, but well, the rat's nest of tunnels remains, so there you go. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It is certainly a hazardous thing when you go running around over there, so. So here's an interesting question for you, right? I mean, I'm looking at this scenery. It's obviously morning, though I guess if you didn't know it's morning, it could be afternoon, right? You tell me, does this look like a kind of a cool spring morning, a warm summer morning, a cold winter morning, or like a cool autumn morning, right? I mean, we all have different perspectives. It'd just be interesting to see what you guys think, because I'm looking around, and by the color of the morning sun, I'm looking around and I say this is a late summer morning. You know, late summer, early fall. Now, it's not entirely hypothetical, because in my Let's Play series, all three of them, I run the Serene Seasons mod, which actually adds Minecraft seasons, and it does, you know, bring the subtle changes of each season to the world. And despite the fact that I told you I think it looks like a late summer, early fall morning, I know for a fact that we're in the very earliest part of spring. So, yeah, the season's in the eye of the beholder, I guess. I have too much stuff. This is why I need the backpack. I mean, that was patently obvious, but I'm saying it just, you know, so that there's no doubts, no misunderstanding. So now I've got two different types of flax growing, but they basically produce the same thing in the same way. So, and that's given me my wool without a single sheep, and that's important because we're going to want to make a windmill from the Create mod, and that's going to require a heap of wool. So, my string production will be accelerating here. I'm going to grab some of this other stone. I'm going to use it as filler in the waters around the island. That doesn't mean it's gone forever. It doesn't mean I'm not planning to use it some other time. It's just like I could have it sitting in a chest doing 0. Or I can use it as filler out in the water, and eventually, like I said, I'm going to hollow that back out and build a base there, so I'll get it back, and that's probably about the time I would need it anyway, so just kind of a win-win, especially since I don't have any real proper storage set up yet. Well, I mean, obviously you're watching this, so yes, I love to play Minecraft. And it's not just Minecraft, right? I love builder games, simulators immensely. And I could easily just spend all day, maybe all night, doing this, right? It's easy for me to get lost in the game. And I say that, I mean, I've said it before, told you my my railroad tycoon story. But I say that because I just looked at the clock. I just saw how much time we've been in this world. And if you had asked me before I looked at the clock, I would have told you we've been in here 10, 15 minutes tops. But we are now 40 minutes into this episode. And I don't feel like I've completed anything, right? I mean, it's like I just got going. How can it be 40 minutes? But it is. It is. But, you know, that has always been to me a sign that you enjoy whatever it is you're doing, right? If you can lose yourself in the activity, if you lose track of the world, time stops. I mean, it doesn't stop, obviously, but in your world it seems to have stopped. Yeah, you're doing something that's worthwhile. I mean, no, I'm not curing cancer or, you know, housing the homeless or feeding the hungry. Those are all noble things, but I am doing something here which, well, at the very least, is not hurting anyone. And now that I'm making videos with it, if any of you feel entertained, interested, compelled, motivated, inspired, anything, if this serves any positive aspect in your lives, go ahead and let me know that too, because you know, that's just frosting on the cake. Like I said time and time again, if I wasn't making YouTube videos, I'd be doing exactly what I'm doing right this minute, right? I'd still be building this world. I would still be building it in the way that I'm building it. You know, the planning and everything else. It is what it is. And that's one of the things I like about this Let's Play format. Well, what I like about this particular flavor of Let's Play, because if you go back and look at some of the old Minecraft Let's Play videos, the classics, you know, Echo's Lab and Paul Swords Jr. and all those guys, you look at those old ones from years ago, for the most part, everything they did, most of what they did, was on camera, right? If you didn't see it in the video, it didn't happen. Now, there are a lot of folks out there producing Let's Play content, and a lot of it is really good. But they kind of abstract away what I consider to be the meat and potatoes, right? I mean, I'm an old fart, and I play Minecraft, and part of the reason I play Minecraft is that it's fun and relaxing. And while you know, I understand that you know, some people don't necessarily find, like, me feeding cows and mining, you know, whatever, maybe that's not exciting for them. I get, it's not for everybody, at least, but there are people who, they don't mind this. I mean, my Minecraft videos, my channel, is actually modeled off of stuff that I found to be interesting or attractive to me as a viewer. And if there's people out there creating that stuff that got me interested, then there must be people out there watching that stuff that I could, you know, produce content for. So here we are. So, you know, if you think this is one of those Let's Plays where it's going to be 12 episodes, and, you know, in episode 11 I wipe out the Ender Dragon, and episode 12 I get my Elytra or whatever. Nope. Nor is this one of those Let's Plays where, episode 4, I wipe out the Ender Dragon, get my Elytra, and then for the rest of the series, I have the Elytra. Nope. Nor is this a series where it's going to say, hey, today I'm going to build the Pyramid of Giza, and there's either a montage or a cutaway, and then boom, I said, here I am with 300,000 cobblestone blocks, and then there's another montage cutaway, and then boom, there's the Pyramid of Giza. Okay, next week, we'll build the Eiffel Tower. No, that's not me either. It is what it is, because I'm not trying to rush through this. I mean, actually, that's kind of where I started, though. I mean, the original 2 series, Griffin Hall, which ended in a technical meltdown, and Griffin Manor, which ended with the realization that where I wanted to be was Minecraft 1.20.1, and I was in Minecraft 1.19.2, and the world wasn't going to transfer well. So that's why those stopped. But those were kind of along the lines of what I just described, right? I would say, hey, in this episode, I'm going to build X. And then I kind of show you the highlight reel, talk about it, and then boom, here's the finished product. And the problem with that was there was a whole lot of stuff that happened in between that I thought was potentially interesting. But on my end, to get you a 20 or 30 or 40 minute episode, I actually had 15 to 20 hours of gameplay, plus then several hours of writing, editing, all that jazz, and putting it all together. And that was a lot of work. And, and that's just a mid-sized project, right? If I had, a really big project, well, it's really hard. And I was trying to produce content on a more frequent and regular basis, and that was a lot of stress, which is why I switched to this old school version of Let's Play, because now in this world, if you didn't see it on video, it didn't happen, right? And more to the point, I think I just finished episode 13 of my new Londinium. Episodes are about an hour each, so that's about 13 hours in, and I'm still building the manor house, so that'll be my temporary, in quotes, base, right? I mean, all that work I've put into it has been 13 episodes, and there was a lot of exploration and storytelling and everything along the way, where in my old video, I would finish that house, probably another 5 hours of work, and then put it all together in a video, and it was killing me. But I guess the point in all of this, in my rambling, as I want to do, is the fact that I'm at a point in my life, and I think I should have been at this point all along. It's just that it took me some time to realize that it's not about the destination. The destination is important. It's why you went in the first place. And you want to enjoy the destination, but it's about the journey getting there. I think I just saw a diamond. If I saw a diamond, I've got 2 back in a chest in the workshop, and that would give me 3, and I could finally make an diamond pickaxe. And because I don't even have enough to make an iron pickaxe right now, so then I can actually get the stuff that you can't get with a stone pickaxe. So that that's no big deal in the big scheme of things, but for me in this world, that was a big deal. Not quite as big as the deal as me getting a backpack, but baby steps. But yeah, so it's the journey, man. It's the journey. The first place I should have learned that lesson was high school, right? Because maybe you're in high school, maybe you graduated from high school more recently than I have, but if I remember, for me at least, when I was in high school, it was all about getting out of high school, right? Getting it over with. And, but once you're out, you kind of realize that you had some good things going in high school. And to a certain extent, you miss them, right? You don't miss everything. But, and, you know, I kind of regret now some of the things I didn't do or didn't stop to do or didn't stop to appreciate and enjoy at the time while they were there. And it all comes back to me because, you know, I've got twin daughters and they're 15 and a half. They're in high school. And so the cycle repeats. So every morning I listen to them grumble and complain as I wake them up and watch them slowly start animating for the day and moving around and, you know, grumbling and complaining about school. And I know that in a couple years they'll graduate, and 4 or 5 years after that they'll start talking about how much they miss high school. It's just a cycle of life, right? I mean, it would have been part of Lion King 4 if they ever got that high. Okay, I am now fully capable. Well, except for the fact that I have a stone sword and no armor. But, I mean, in terms of tools, there's nothing tool-related that I can't do now. Well, except Silk Touch. But, I mean, we'll get there. Now, that's another thing. If I think I've mentioned it here. This world not only is set up to be harder, but I mean it's a post-apocalyptic world. I mean, the apocalypse has come and gone. Look at the place. And as a part of that, you know, I'm kind of going for this vibe of you know, I Am Legend type of thing, which is the remnants of civilization are still here, but civilization isn't. And using the Lost Cities mod, I've effectively created that type of vibe in the world overall. But the way Lost Cities works and the way Minecraft works, the two of them combined lead to problems, because Lost Cities generates those lost cities as terrain, and then Minecraft goes through and generates structures. Well, the problem with that is if your lost city is generated as terrain and then you start generating structures on top of it, these structures often wind up in the way of or kind of screwing up the ruined city. It doesn't make sense. And also, structures have a tendency to also be habitated, or inhabited. So, to kind of maintain the last man on earth type vibe, and to limit the weirdness with the terrain, I employed another mod that limits the number of structures. And the setting I used basically means that structures will occur 1/8 as frequently as they normally do. Now, where all this is going is we're talking about, you know, I said Silk Touch and propping up my gear and stuff, and all that requires enchanting. Now, enchanting, obsidian and diamond to make an enchanting table, that's I should be able to do that pretty easily, just like I could in any other flavor of Minecraft. But again, if you've watched my series, you know that I don't like using the vanilla enchanter, and I want to upgrade it to the enchantment infuser, which takes the randomness out of enchanting. But that requires crying obsidian. Now, crying obsidian you can get fairly easily in the nether. And normally you can get it fairly easily in the overworld at a ruined nether portal or 3. But if I've limited the number of structures to be 1/8 as frequent, ruined nether portals are going to be few and farther between than they would normally be. So I'm probably not going to be able to do that level of enchanting until I get to the Nether. And as you've noticed, I'm a little busy trying to feed myself and make a backpack. So going to the Nether, it's on my bucket list. But, you know, again, we got spring seasons. It's early spring, so maybe midsummer we'll go to the Nether. Because, you know, when it's hot outside, there's nothing better than going to an even hotter place. Oh! Crud. Crud. Speaking of crud, I left a lot of blood. So that, if you see these little blood splotches that I leave when I fall or starve or drown, that's part of the it's part of the mix to make creatures or monsters tougher in this world, right? When they encounter that, and they don't even have to be close to it, they can smell it, right? That's what that's there for. That blood produces some type of smell that the mobs center on, and they will come investigate. And so if you're wounded, and you know you're wounded, like say with a poison, which yeah, if you're poisoned you don't normally bleed, but if something like poison, so you're getting damage every tick you're producing a little blood splotch. So now you're leaving like a little blood trail that they can follow as you try to run away from them. And like I said, you know, this mod, there's going to be potentially hordes, literally hordes of hostile mobs running around in little groups, like a gang, terrorizing the countryside. And that's bad. They also are attracted to sound, so I'm mining, and that makes a lot of noise. So you know, if we're anywhere near monsters when we're doing this, they'll come out to investigate that too. One of the things I'm worried about, and really the thing that I'm trying to get done, the main reason why I'm trying to get the base fortified as soon as I can, is that I have another mod on here that gives me some moon events. There's different moons that can rise. One's a harvest moon, I think one's a lucky moon, but the one that concerns me is the blood moon. When the blood moon comes out, two things happen. One, you can't go to sleep, so you're gonna have to stay up through the blood moon. And two, all the stuff that spawns at night in greater numbers, huge numbers. And then all the other things I mentioned, the generation of hordes, or the collection of hordes, and you know, zoning in on the sounds I make and such, all that stuff comes into play, which is going to make it for very much a siege type of situation. And so I would much rather have walls that I can hide behind and shoot from than to be, you know, trapped underground or running around out in the open, you know, with this horrendous game of tag, except that instead of having one guy and, you know, 20 people running away from him, it's going to be 20 guys are it, 40 guys are it, and I'm the one running away from him. So I don't know why I set up my boat to be for a fast escape from my own base, but I just did. So obviously I didn't get as much done on this episode as I would like, but I made some pretty good progress. Made some pretty good progress. I would have liked to get a backpack, but you know. I do have a diamond pick. I have a sleeping bag now. I'm producing a wider variety of crops, some of which will be very useful. I've got some, probably by now I probably have some rich soil in my wheat field, which will accelerate that. So that's something. Yep. Look at how deep that water is over there, and I'm going to have to fill much of that up. And I'd rather do it with gravel if at all possible. A little more. At the moment, I don't have a need for a lot of cobblestone. I don't have a huge immediate need for cobblestone, so I can use most of what I have in my inventory. Yeah, that's probably good enough. And it looks like I got quite a bit of flax of both types ready. Yeah, I can see some of that rich soil is ready. And I even have a couple leftover seeds. So let's go ahead and till this. I won't wait till later. I know, I'm sorry. And since these aren't really doing anything, and my inventory's full, so let's plop these down. And that should get things kick-started. The thing with that rich soil is it's random. So, I mean, I could come down here and put some stuff away and go up and find something that is already mature. That's how fast it can work sometimes. But it's random, so it doesn't always work that way or that fast. Okay. So you can see that, up to now I had 7 wool, and now I'm up to 12. Just, in each run I'm going to have more and more wool. So we're well on our way to that windmill. Have a nice bit of andesite saved up, and that's important because we're using the crate mod, and you can't possibly have enough andesite ever with the crate mod. So. I guess those things are processed already. Okay. Might as well prepare this space for the rest of the grapes. And harvest and make seeds and replant. You know, I always, after I record these, I always add a soundtrack. But I think for this part, I will leave the music off so that you can hear that wind. Oh, of course, now the wind's gone. Okay. Oh. I love this ambient wind noise, especially in this world, because it just heightens the sensation, the feeling like I'm alone, I'm isolated, it's empty out here. Now that I have some wheat, I'm thinking I might have enough wheat down here for another run at the cows to get that leather. I've got 3 leather. That'll get me 4 string. So, no. I thought I had 2 wheat down here. Well, I think I'm going to go for it anyway. You know, maybe we can breed 1 cow and get... I only need 1 more leather. So, if I can get the 1 leather, I can make a backpack, and that would end this episode on a pretty high note for me. Oh. Hello, Pally. What you got? Whole lot of grape seeds. Wandering winemaker, yep. I would have been pretty excited about an apple tree. Oh well. Oh well. You know, with the mod packs I set up, all the ambient sounds, the shaders, I'd have a really hard time going back to vanilla Minecraft. I can't do it anymore. And on a related note, the stuff that they come out with on the newest releases of vanilla Minecraft, it's just not interesting to me anymore. The pale garden or forest or whatever it is. Eh, not my cup of tea. Ooh, ooh. Okay, I got 2 leather that time. So now, let's make a backpack. Okay, so I need a chest in the middle, the leather on the bottom and top, and I need string, but I can't make the string yet, so getting pushed around here. Oh, I only got 3 string. I forgot there's 2 recipes, one for 3 string, one for 4 string. I should have got the 4 string, but I was being pushed around by sheep. I got distracted, so I gotta run all the way back to the base. Well, but I was gonna do that anyway, so. Hey, watch what you're walking on. Okay, now I can make the backpack. If I can find the crafting table. So, middle, bottom, top, sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, thank the maker. And I've got enough copper to upgrade it right away. So, this, these. Ta-da! So, pop that in. And look at that. Okay, I think I'll put everything away, then we'll go topside and we'll take a look at today's handiwork. Nice. This is my favorite spot for now, this corner. So it's a bit more than we saw before. More field, more island, a little more of everything, and backpack. So there's still a lot to do, and we'll continue on next time. But until then, I hope this finds you and yours in good health, good spirits, and perhaps a touch of good fortune. Cheers.